Many of you are like me, a conflict avoider, although I now call myself a recovering conflict avoider. For me, it started out in my family of origin because I experienced a lot of verbal abuse, a lot of fighting and yelling in my household, and so I began to view conflict as extremely ugly, always volatile, never going to end well. This is just the perception I had, and I carried that into my adult life. Always avoiding conflict like the plague because I worried that anytime I would maybe disagree or stand up for myself or even state a desire or a need of mine, that it would not be met well, that the response would be angry, that there would be tension, and it would be ugly. And so I just learned to stuff pretty much everything. And what I've learned is that does not really work very well, because as you continue to stuff your feelings, your anger, and you don't get to have a voice in anything, and everything is done the other person's way, you start to grow super resentful. It just naturally happens. And that resentment becomes so terribly toxic. It's almost like a lava dome inside a volcano. The lava dome just gets one more layer upon one more layer upon one more layer as your resentment grows, as you keep on stuffing everything and never working through the issues, never stating your opinions or really being heard. When you don't give yourself a voice, you just keep on stuffing, and that lava dome keeps on growing and growing and growing until the pressure underneath becomes so horrendous that it explodes. And basically, well, honestly, most marriages at that point end in divorce. That happened to me in my first marriage. After 18 years, kaboom, a divorce. Well, I've learned a better way to deal with things because resentment truly is toxic. And maybe that's why in Hebrews 12:15, God says, "Do not let any bitter root grow up among you to cause trouble and defile many." And that resentment is like a bitter root. Don't let it start growing, ladies. Ask the Holy Spirit, as I've done, to give yourself courage. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you courage and the right timing and the right words to be able to express your needs, your opinions. And when there is a disagreement, to calmly, but in a determined fashion, work all the way through that disagreement until you guys reach some kind of compromise or agreement on whatever the issue is. But ladies, you get to have a voice. Do not settle on being a conflict avoider. That is not God's way. No, he doesn't want you to be, angry and critical and shrieking at your husband. Of course not. But he does want you to have a voice, to be able to work through things and work toward compromise. Your voice matters. Your needs matter. You matter. Do not cower in fear. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And when I remind myself of that the Lord said he would never leave me nor forsake me, that gives me courage to press through those times of disagreement and let my voice be heard.